Hello everyone, welcome back to WsCube. In our today's session, we will be talking about strings. Strings, yes, you have heard the term before from me that we have used it in one of the data types. String is one of the data types, but now today we will be learning about strings in a detailed manner. So there are lots of things to strings. There are so many things that you can do with the strings. It has vast applications. So we will be seeing all the functions related to the strings in this module.
Also, if you want to become a successful data analyst and you want to learn from our industrial experts, then you may call on the number given below, or you can also click on the link given in our description. Not just that, with our every batch, you will be getting 2 demo classes for free. So let's get started, guys.
So let's get started. Strings over here. Now, what are first of all, the first question is what is a string? String is nothing but it is a combination of letters, symbols, and numbers. So you can use only letters, only numbers, only symbols also inside a string, or you can also use a combination of all of them inside a string. But what is there? It should be enclosed inside the double quotation. So creation of a string is really very simple. All you need to do is you write a and you write any variable name inside it. Just put a double quotations and write your name, write whatever you want to write inside your string, and you can print it. Let's have a practical example of how we can do it. So here, first of all, our first thing is creation of a string, creating a string, right? Now, how a string is created, you can create any variable over here. For example, I'm just creating a is equals to Charlie and the chocolate factory, right? This is my string, and to print it, all you need to do is print A, and if you run the program, it gives you the output Charlie and the chocolate factory over here. If you want to check if it is a string or not, all you can do is write print type A. It will give you the data type, that what data type it is, and as soon as I run it, it tells me it belongs to the classes of strings. So yes, any enclosed data inside the double quotations is a string. It can be a combination of numbers, symbols, and letters. Now today what we will be discussing functions related to the strings. There are so many things that we can do with the strings. We can play with the strings. So here are some functions that I will be enlisting today. Our first function would be finding the length of the string. So I'll write over here length to find length of a string. To find length of a string. To find the length of a string, there is a very simple method. We am using the same string that I have been using. That is the first one, A, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. To find its length, that how many total characters are there. Remember, when it finds the length, it also counts the spaces in between. So here we can see we have 5 spaces in between. Our length also counts the spaces in between. So for finding the length, all you need to do is you have to write print len is nothing but the length, short form for the length. Whose length we have to find? We want to find the length of A. And if I run the program over here, it gives me 33, that there are total 33 characters inside this along with 5 spaces in between. Right, guys, this is how you can find the length of a string. All you need to do is you need to write len. You can put it inside a variable also. All you can do is you can write over here b is equals to len of A, and then instead of printing it, you can just write print b, and if you run it, it gives you the same output. So yes, you can do with both the methods. Either you can directly print length of A, or you can put it inside a variable and then print it. Totally, choice is totally up to you. I rather prefer doing it in this way, that I'll write it print length of A. So yes, we'll be continuing with this method. Now after finding the length of a string, let's try our next function, that is counting any element inside a string. So to count a particular element. Now, what does this mean, to count a particular element? If you want to count how many times any letter is occurring or any number is occurring inside a string, all you need to do is use the count method over here, for which we will be writing print a, that is the name of our string, dot count. What we want to count? We want to count, let's say I'll check how many times alphabet C is occurring here. So if I run this, It says two times. Although you can see that two more times alphabet C is occurring, which is but small c in the chocolate and small c in the factory. Why it is not getting counted? Because here inside the line number 12 we have written we want capital C. We are counting how many times capital C is occurring. So yes, Python is a case sensitive language and it takes care of the cases that where we are writing small c and capital C. Because we have written capital C, it's only counting capital C, it's completely neglecting small c. So this is how you can count. All you can do is a dot count c. If you want to count anything else, let's say I want to count how many times alphabet O is occurring. All I need to do is a dot count inside the quotations. I'll write O, and if I run this program, it will give me the output that three times. And as you can see very clearly here, that three times alphabet O is occurring, twice in chocolate and one in factory. Right? Our third method would be to convert everything into uppercase. Now, how we would do that? Let's see. So, our next method is to convert a string into uppercase. Now, how it can be done? It is very simple. All you need to do is print a dot upper and open close the parentheses. Now, let's run and see what happens. You will notice over here that all the letters which were written inside the strings, they are all converted into capital letters. So dot upper will, what dot upper will do over here, it will convert all the letters. The letters which are already capital will stay capital, but which are small, they will also get converted into uppercase. For this, we have a very simple method. All you need to do is write the name of the string, that is here in our case, that is A, and dot upper and open close the parentheses. That is a very simple method. Now what if we want to convert it into a lowercase? So for the lowercase, yes, I guess you might have guessed it clearly that if for uppercase we have to write dot upper, then yes, for lower we have to write dot lower. But just have a look on the example. So to convert a string into lowercase, all we need to do is we need to write over here print a dot lower and open close the bracket. Once I run this program, let's see what happens. So now here you will notice that all the cases, even on the top in my string, I have written capital C in the first word and also capital C in the fourth word, but still again it has been converted back all into lower. So lower cases are also lower and the upper cases are also lower now. So dot lower will convert all the letters, all the things inside your strings into a lower case. Right, guys, this was our fourth method. Let's move on to our next method, that is the index. Let's discuss it briefly first of all, that what index is. So index means what happens inside the computer when you create anything. Let's say you create a list of integers, or you create strings also, a list also, whatever you create inside a Python, what computer does, computer provides it with a position, that each number or each letter holds a position, each element or each character holds a position. Now, how this positioning start? This positioning is of two types. We have positive indexing and we have negative indexing. The positive indexing starts from 0 and the negative indexing starts from -1. So here, to understand in a better way, here we have Charlie and the chocolate factory. So as I said, positive indexing starts from 0. So C will be on position 0, H will be on position 1, A will be on position 2, and so on. It will keep going on. Right, guys? So this is positive indexing. Remember that positive indexing, or let's say just indexing, starts from 0. And negative indexing means, suppose if you want to access any element which is in the last word or very close to last, so you're not going to count each and every element, right? So for that, we have a negative indexing over here. Negative indexing starts from -1. So let's say we found the length, and where we found out there are total 33 elements. So last y will be on number 32 because it starts from 0. So y will be on 32. But we know it because we found the length. But suppose if a person wants to access y, what he can do, he can directly write -1. So negative indexing starts from -1. A person can directly write -1 over here and can get the alphabet Y. So let's see how it is written down. For index, all you need to do is you need to write print, you need to write A, that is the name of your string, inside the squared bracket, not inside the parentheses. I'm talking about the squared bracket. Inside the square bracket, we will write the index number. So let's say I want index number 0. As soon as I run it, I'll ask you guys to make a guess over here that once I run it, which alphabet I'm going to get. So let's run it. And if guys, if you have guessed it capital C, then yes, it is correct. It's capital C because on index number 0, we have capital C over here because 0 position represents the first element of the string, that is C, capital C. At the same time, if I print A inside the square bracket, if I write -1, it would provide me with Y, that is the Y of our factory. At the same time, if I use print A and 32, you guys will notice it will again provide me with Y. So from the perspective of the positive indexing, Y is on number 32, and from the perspective of the negative indexing, Y is on -1. That is the first element from the negative side. So yes, you can do indexing from both the sides. We can do it positive indexing, we can do negative indexing as well. So with the help of this index, you can find any element, you can access any element from the string with the help of their position. I guess indexing is clear to you all. Moving ahead with our next topic, we have now capitalize a string. For capitalizing a string, again there is a very simple method. All you need to write is print. Now which one, what you want to capitalize, let's take example over here. I'm creating another string over here. Let's say, let's call it B. B is equals to I love Python. You will now notice over here that I have written I love Python, and every letter over here is a small letter. Let's capitalize it. Let's capitalize this whole string. So what I'll do, I'll write B over here. B dot capitalize and open close the parentheses. Let's run and see what happens. So you will now notice that the first letter of the sentence has been capitalized and it has been converted from small I to the capital I. So guys, you have seen how capitalize can convert a whole string's first alphabet into a capital letter. So similarly, we have a case fold function over here. Let's have a look on what case fold functions does. So what does here case fold function will do? Let's have a look on that. So to convert upper cases in a string to lower cases, right? How we'll convert upper cases into a lower cases? All we need to do is use the case fold method. For as our first string, it is written inside our first string. We have Charlie and the chocolate factory, where C of Charlie and C of the chocolate is in a capital letters. Let's convert it into lowercase. So for that, all we will be doing, we will be writing print A dot case fold and open close the parentheses. So guys, here all we need to write is print A dot case fold and open close the parentheses. Let's run the program and see what happens. Now you will see was capital, and in the chocolate the C was capital, but now it is no more capital. So case fold has converted both the upper cases into a lower cases. This is what case fold has done. I hope this is not going too fast, and it is very easy to memorize these functions. Even if you don't memorize these functions, you can again come back to this module and check all the functions that we have done with the strings. These are very helpful functions going ahead when you will be doing the major projects in Python. Our next function is to find index. Suppose we can, here we can see that we can access an element with the help of an index number. But what if a number is somewhere in center? We are not going to count it, right? Suppose we want to check on which index number any letter is occurring. So all you need to do is use the find method over here. So to find the index of an element, to find the index of an element, all you need to do is you need to write print statement over here. Print A dot find. Now which whose index number we want to find, we have to write it over here. So let's say I want to find the index number of letter Y, and I'll write Y over here. Once I click on run, it tells me it is on number 32, and yes, we know it is on number 32. If I want to find the index number of this alphabet H over here, so all I need to do is I need to write print A dot find H, and if I run it, it tells me H is on number 1 because C is on number 0. So positive indexing, I'm repeating again, positive indexing starts from number 0, and H is on number 1. That's why. So yes, it is working properly. This is how we can use our find method. So moving on to our another method that we have in our string functions is format. Let's see how formatting is done in the strings. So guys, let's have a look on the formatting method. Formatting method, again, it's an important method. So have a look very clearly. So pay more attention to it. Let's see how formatting is done inside a string. So I'm creating two variables over here. Name is equals to, let's say, John. Okay. And age is equals to, let's say, 23. Now I'm going to print over here. My name is, comma, name, comma, and my age is, comma, age. Now you can see here every time I'm switching from variable to a string, and we are using variables and string in the whole line. So every time I'm switching, I need to put a comma. So what we can do, we can use a format method over here. For format method, all we need to do is we need to open the quotations. We need to write F over here. Here we can write our strings directly by writing so all you need to do is you can write over here F and then put a double quotations. Now we can write strings directly. For example, my name is, and whenever you need to use a variable, whenever you want to use a variable, use a curly bracket over here and give a variable name, and my age is, open the brackets and write age over here. And if you run this program, you will see it writes my name is John and my age is 23. So in the one line without using commas, we can just inside the double quotations only, we can write the strings and variables together. All we need to do is put the name of the variables inside the curly brackets, and in the starting we need to write F stands for the short form format or formatting. So here you can give any name or any age, or you can take a user input for the name and age as well and use it inside your program. This is how formatting is done. I'll give you another example over here that let's say I'm creating so let's say I'm writing a sentence over here that this month I am going to turn, inside the curly brackets I'll be writing age, and if I run it, it gives me this month I'm going to turn 23. Okay guys, so you have seen over here how we can write variables and strings in the same line with the help of formatting. In the formatting, all you need to do is write F in front of it, open quotations, and inside it, whenever you want to write string, you can simply write the string, but just make sure whenever you're writing a name of a variable, or even you're writing anything else also like list, dictionaries, which we will be discussing later, if you want to write those as well, you can write those as well, and it will automatically format it. You don't have to put commas in between to separate the values. Okay guys, so this was formatting. Moving ahead with the next topic, we have center method. So in our center method, what we need to do is we need to just write center over here. First of all, let's give it the heading center method in strings. Center method in strings enable us to center a text. If we are writing a text, let's say if we are writing a string which is coming from the starting of the line, if you want to shift it a little bit, you can use a center method. The center method allows you to give spaces in front of it. Now let's see how does it work. So we have our string over here, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Every time I run it, it starts from the left hand side. Now if I want it to come in the center, what I'll do, I'll write over here print A, that is the name of our string, dot center by, let's say, 50 spaces. I want to put 50 spaces in front of it. Let's run and see what happens when I put a 50 spaces in front of it. You can see it has been shifted by the 50 spaces in front of it. At the same time, if you want to increase the number, let's say I want to shift it by 100 spaces, you will see now it will get shifted by 100 spaces. According to you, according to your choice, you can increase the number of spaces in front of it. So, yes, dot center method, what dot center method will do, it will shift your code into the number of times you are writing over there. So yes guys, what center method will do, it will shift your code as much as you want. All you need to do is write the number of times you want to shift it with, and it will shift your code towards the center or wherever you want in your whole line. This is what a center method do. So here in this module guys, we discussed the 10 methods, which first of all we learned how to create a string, which is not a part of a method. This is just how we create a string. Second method we learned was how to find the length of a string. To find the length of a string, it is a very simple method. All you need to do is write len. Next method is to count any element inside the string, where we just count how many times any element inside the string is occurring. Third method is to convert a string into uppercase. Then we learned how to convert it into a lowercase. We learned how to do indexing. Indexing is of two types. We have a positive indexing plus we have a negative indexing. Positive indexing, remember, positive indexing starts from 0, negative indexing starts from -1. They are nothing but the positions given by the computer itself. And yes, we can access these position as well by the use of find method. After that, we did capitalize, where we capitalize the first letter of the string. We have the case fold method, which allowed us to convert capital letters into small letters inside the string. Find method, we use find method to find the index of a particular letter we were looking for. Formatting in a string, we learned how we can avoid using commas while we are writing a variable name and a string in one line. Variables then can be replaced with the other terms as well. We can use lists over here, and we can use dictionary sets, anything that we want to use over here inside this format method. All you need to do is write f in front of it, put it inside the double quotations. You can write strings directly, and you can, whenever there is a name of a variable or list or a dictionary, all you need to do is you need to put it inside the curly brackets. Lastly, we have the center method. Center method enabled us to write a text from wherever we want to start it. If we want to give us spaces of 20, 30, 40, 50 in front of it, all we need to do is use the center method. So I hope all these 10 functions are clear to you. In our next module, again, we are going to discuss 10 more functions related to the strings. And trust me, this is not the end. We have so many functions inside the string. String is a very vast topic, and yes, it is important at the same time. I hope you are enjoying the sessions and you're learning a lot from it. So I'll see you in the next session. Stay connected. Thank you.